about what happened today and some of the stocks that we thought were going to do very well, but didn't. We actually had a couple of stocks that did not even manage to hold resistance. One of them being AMC. We were expecting AMC to hold support, but unfortunately it did not, which is okay. And we also had a weird low volume trading day. It seems like the market is almost just trying to find itself and trying to figure out where it is at. Anyways, we are live, and I'm going to be going over a couple of stocks that you guys want to talk about and a couple of stocks that I am looking at as well. I actually got a great list of recommendations from one of my buddies and from you guys as well as viewers. So we're going to be going over those. And there are stocks and there are moves that I made in the market today, and I will share those with you later in the live, I guess. We're just going to wait for a few people to join, and once you guys are in, we are going to be taking a look at what is going on in the market today. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to be covering Rocket because of course everybody wants to talk about Rocket. Everybody everybody kind of wants to know what is going on with Rocket Mortgage and Rocket companies. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that in just a second. I just need to quickly click on the ticker symbol and see what the chart is trending like. So we did have a little bit of a sell-off in Rocket later in the day today, but Rocket all in all did have a huge run. Now I do have some friends who were part of Rocket and had a great time in the run up, so that's something that I'm really excited to see, and that is something that we are going to be talking about as well. Hold on just one second, guys. I do want to go over just something really quickly. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this out. Meantime, I'm going to show you guys my plan really quickly. We are all right, so I think we are in good shape. It does seem like we are doing okay. All right, so we go here and then we go back here and we are good to go. Okay, so we are good to go. Rocket did not rocket towards the end. In fact, let's just take a look and see when the sell-off happened. And I think at bottom we hit 38.10, which is still not bad. Some of you ended up making really good money in Rocket, which is great. I, however, missed out on Rocket today, which I am a little upset about because I had a meeting. Oh, there was a ticker symbol that we were going to look at, but the message has been retracted. Anyways, okay, so let's start, as we do every video, with SQQQ and see what SQQQ was looking like towards the end of the day. So today was a very awkward low volume day, like I just mentioned. Let's look at the 30-minute chart and see if we can get a better idea on what QQQ. Okay, let's pull up the 1 hour actually to see what QQQ was trading like. So we did have a huge candle. This is actually a pretty big candle today for SQQQ. So SQQQ trending upwards. SQQQ, this seems to be tracking upwards. Okay, volatility I know was low today, but we are gonna take a look at it as well. And VXXX is almost at $15 towards close. Wow, those candles are looking good. So although we had low volatility, it does seem like we do have short interest in the market. So your ticker symbols UWMC. Let's take a look at UWMC and see where they ended up. I'm gonna pull up your ticker symbols on the middle chart so that we can look at them together. Okay, let's take a look at where UWMC ended. Oh wow, that is actually, the volume on that is looking good. The RSI, it is overbought though. I can tell you that from the looking at the RSI right now at 63.22. This stock is currently overbought. Nothing to worry about. I mean, in today's market, anything overbought seems to be a good sign. Okay, let's take a look also at the 5-minute chart, and we're going to take a look at the 30-minute chart, the 1 hour chart. So it does seem like the uptick that we had, the spike that we had, was actually during after hours. So we may be able to catch the highs when market opens tomorrow. So I'm gonna need to look at this stock pre-market tomorrow so that we can figure out if this is a good play for tomorrow. NSPR, let's take a look at NSPR stock. Yep, this is NSPR. NSPR not doing so well for the day. Let's take a look at this is the 1 hour, so we are looking at the full day. So we did take a look at that in just a second when I go over the Robinhood. So we're gonna hold on to NSPR, and we are gonna have to take a look at that. Hey Hamza, very low volume today. I do agree, Muhammad, very low volume today, and you know, it kind of sucked. It's like we really just don't know where the market is going at the moment. And you know, it's weird because we had a gamma squeeze and everybody was expecting the gamma squeeze to occur in AMC, but it did not, right? We had a squeeze. We had a squeeze in that. I was actually in Rocket. I want to say like I had 10 calls in Rocket Mortgage not too long ago, and they expired in 2022. But Rocket did go up to $23 like a couple of months ago. I want to say like almost a month ago, Rocket hit $23. And when it did, funny enough, I exited those calls at a loss. I think I lost like $500 on 10 calls, which is not bad in the grand scheme of things. But I did expect that, you know, I did expect Rocket to rocket to $40 about a month ago. And when I didn't see the traction, I didn't feel like there was a catalyst. I then exited Rocket at that point. So Neo is not a buy. Whoever just mentioned Neo is definitely not a buy at the moment. We are going to hold off there. It may be a buy. I'm not saying that it hasn't bottomed. All I'm saying is that it is not. We do not have a catalyst good enough. They just missed earnings, and you know, missing earnings in a down market is like the worst thing that could ever happen. DraftKings just missed earnings, and I wonder what's happening with DraftKings actually. Let's take a look at DraftKings and see what's happening with them. DKNG. So DKNG falling a little bit after hours and then picking back up. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with DraftKings first thing tomorrow. It's gonna be, of course, on our radar. It's gonna be on our watch list, and we are gonna cover it pre-market. HCMC. I don't believe this account allows me to check HCMC. I could check it on Google. Although I would honestly not touch HCMC right now because it seems like the lawsuit is going to be prolonged and company. So I don't know what's gonna happen with HCMC. I love the company. I love their work. You know, there was a lot of hype around the lawsuit and them being able to settle the lawsuit, but that's just not happening. Kemp. Let's look at Kemp and take a look at. I hope we can trade Kemp here. I don't think we can. So that is kind of what we, you know, we are kind of looking into. Let's look at ZOM. Okay, so ZOM. Let's look at what the buy-in interest was. So it started the day very strong buy candle and then just sort of deteriorated over time. Let's look at the 5-minute really quickly, and let's zoom out on the 5-minute to see what type of interest we were seeing on ZOM. So a lot of volume. Actually, we did have a good amount of buy volume during the day, which probably is what pushed up the scanners. But as of right now, ZOM is null. In fact, maybe 2 to 3x. Positions average cost is 54. What do you recommend I do? So Neo is going to hit $54 at some point. I just think that the EV space needs to cool off a little bit. So you know, that could mean it could take a month for Neo to get back to 54, or a little longer than that. Now, as long as you're not in the 62 range, which is where I'm at, I think it's going to take me quite a lot of time to break even on Neo, because I actually have Neo at $62, and I actually also have Neo Leap Call. So I'm going to hold on to them. Stock, but of course at that time the EV market was riding at all-time highs. Right now Tesla can be bought. Let's see where Tesla is at real quick. By the way, Tesla did break support today at 688. Tesla is back to almost all-time lows. The only time it was lower than this was 660, which was a couple of days ago, and we are back to where Tesla was you know, at it, basically I would say at its newfound low. So until Tesla does stocks. Now, one other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is this last candle that's right behind my head, and that seems to be moving very nicely, and that is in fact Ethereum. So I did end up buying Ethereum. I added $5,000 of Ethereum to my portfolio today, and I did alert all the members when I added it. So if you guys are members, you guys will know exactly how much I paid for it, and when I added Ethereum to my portfolio. Now, any other stocks we want to review really quickly? FGen. Okay, let's review FGen. How many of you are invested in FCell before I go into FGen? I'd be interested to see what FGen is looking like. FGen, I want to say, so FGen is actually looking good. There is a lot of volume. It did seem to recover today, and the middle, so that's a good sign. That means it's not overbought or oversold. We are gonna be able to maybe look at FGen. I haven't invested in, and it does seem to have picked up quite a bit today. Would you recommend buying Ethereum? So actually, Kadim, I'm gonna go over Ethereum in just a second. Let's just go over KMPH as well. Look at the buy first of all. Look at the volume on the buy that we had right before close, and then look at the movement right after hours. That is crazy. That's a huge, and then after hours has gone up to 5%. Okay, now let's just shut this down and go over the portfolio so that you guys can see what stocks we are in exactly, right? Because that's the whole point of this. You guys need to, okay, and as it loads, which usually doesn't take that long, and you guys are gonna get to see my portfolio. So we are in the red for the day. A lot of my options are in the red, which is not too scary because we have plenty of time, and this is what we sign up for when we become long-term traders. Now I think the smarter idea, guys, right now is to switch from long-term to the hour, which I did change on something right. For whoever posted Excel, I'm not a big fan of Excel. It's probably the bane of my portfolio. I will look at it though, just for the sake of looking at it. 3, 4 enough. It's not justified enough for me, at least. Just clear. This is gonna go green fairly soon. Once the market recovers, actually, once the market recovers, most of this stuff is gonna go green, and I'm not too worried about it because, as you guys can see, all these options expire in 2022, and they're all in the money call. So I have equity in all of these options. Not worried about them at all. Now, a company that I am struggling to understand is Snow. So Snow is, you know, as you all know, they do data analytics, and you know, they have been doing fairly well. I don't understand why this seems to come back down and bite us in the, you know what. So that's Snow. As far as Neo, like I said, I'm in Neo. Someone earlier was talking about Neo. I'm in Neo actually for $62, and for me to break even is gonna take a minute, I think. So you know, that's just unfortunate, but that is going to be the situation with what stocks I have in my portfolio. Hey guys, and for those, it's great to see a bunch of a lot of members actually. Let me give you guys a quick shout out because I can see you. Kareem, portfolio was up earlier in the day. We started the portfolio at 140,000. We went up to 142,000, and then look at these dips. So we had a dip, quick recovery, a dip, quick recovery, dip, recovery, dip, recovery, and then dip, recovery right here, and then continue to dip off. So we had 5 dips in the day today, and you know, just because this is a long-term portfolio, so we don't move too much. We don't move in and out of this portfolio because we really believe in all the stocks that we are in. Oh, Snow has earnings tomorrow. I did not know that. So I'm sure that's not going to be a good sign, by the way. Netflix. Let's take a look. Any stock that has earnings coming up should have probably sold out of Snow today. Then that would have been the right time to sell out of Snow, because I don't think earnings is coming anytime soon. Netflix is already at 550. Why are we expecting a breakout? Is there a catalyst for Netflix? Doesn't seem to be like really fast moving, in all honesty. I mean, it seems to be all right. It was I'm pulled up the 1 year, and this is like COVID bottom, which was 298, and we're at 548. I mean, is there any news on Netflix that I don't know about? Aapl prediction. Aapl was a very interesting play today. A lot of people made a lot of money on Aapl. Of course, I sat it out, and it came back down. What do you know? Okay, so Aapl was a very interesting play starting yesterday. Went all the way up to, I think, even 128. I think Aapl touched 128 yesterday, which was amazing. I was losing very little money on my options, and then came back down to 125 today. I think the market is just in a space right now where, you know, it's just weird. We don't have enough volume that we like. The only thing we see volume in are, you know, basically the Redditor stocks, you know, like AMC had volume yesterday, Rocket had volume today, and you know, this is kind of where all the volume's hanging out. Otherwise, the market is fairly slow and volume is little. Okay, SPACs. These are the SPACs that I'm looking at. Well, I'm invested in right now. I'm losing money in just a guy on YouTube. Do your own due diligence. But I truly believe that these are, or this is the ultimate bottom for these SPACs. The first one is Revolution Acceleration. I truly believe that this is at its bottom. I don't think it can go any lower than this. It opened at $11.22, right? And right now it's at $11 or $10, whatever it is. I think this is the true bottom for this one. The ticker symbol for this is RAAC. I think this is a good SPAC. And the reason I like it is because Chamath is behind it, and you know, there's a hype behind him, so he should be good to go. This is also a SPAC that I really like. Osprey Technology. It's also, I believe, at rock bottom. So if you go to the 5-year, you will see that this is a SPAC that launched at $9.70, and it is sitting basically at rock bottom. So those are two SPACs that I like. The third SPAC that I really like, that I really like, I'm losing a lot of money in. So you guys know that I put my money where my mouth is, and that is VGAC. I bought VGAC. I went in hot. I went in heavy, and I bought in at roughly around $15. This is when the market, and since then, the stock is has been trending here right at the bottom. Now, if we look at VGAC, they're in the Geno space, by the way. Well, they're not really in the Geno space, but they're kind of in the Geno space. It was at $9.83. I think you guys will be picking up these three SPACs at absolute rock bottom. PLTR is in fact a buy right now. But when you guys buy into PLTR, just be careful, because PLTR is now trending downwards. And I don't know how this happened where PLTR could trend downwards just because of the momentum that stock had, but it is trending downwards, which means I would scale into PLTR. So don't buy all in it. Don't buy all at once. Scale into PLTR. So I'd probably buy 50% and then 50% at a later time, because there is a possibility that that stock is going to go to $20. Extremely high momentum. Let's take a look at where PLTR is sitting right now. I think the last time I checked, it was below $24. Okay, so now it has come up to $24.85. So I think this is rock bottom for PLTR. I don't see PLTR going. It continues to be the way it is, and the market continues to go down. We could see a little more of a dip in PLTR. Definitely something I would consider for sure. Can play Bitcoin and recovery play with small businesses for SQ. Yeah, I guess you're right, Irfan. I guess you're right. It could definitely be a good play. So Rocket, let's take a look at Rocket. I know somebody mentioned that Rocket could have a small rip tomorrow. I'm just going to go over the information we have right now. We would have to go to, of course, to pre-market in order to determine what's going to happen tomorrow. But as of right now, let's just look at the Rocket chart, and I'm going to show you guys something really interesting on the after hours, right, on Rocket. So where are we? What is this? This is, I think, the 5-minute. Hold on, let me see. Is this the 5-minute? Let's see what we have here. Okay, let's open this up all the way. Okay, here you go. Let's open the 5-minute, or even the 1-minute, right? If we open the 1-minute on Rocket, this is what that's looking like. And so Rocket did have an uptrend, I believe it touched $40, but it is back to $38.15. What does this mean? Absolutely nothing, because there are no fundamentals when it comes to Rocket. There's literally, I don't think there's any way to know what is going to happen with Rocket. However, the probability of a gamma squeeze, of a squeeze coming tomorrow, like a rip, because it is shorted just right. The short interest on Rocket, I think the short open interest on Rocket is something like 15%. And you know, I mean, the stock just did amazing today. So that's something that, you know, we had to kind of talk about. Is RAAC a buy? Yes, RAAC is a buy for me. Let's see if I can show you guys the RAAC chart. So I'm bought into RAAC at 1260, and you know, I think we tracked OEG yesterday, and it did look like it was a good buy. I'm gonna just open it here on Robinhood. I'm not gonna look at the RSIs and whatnot, but I do believe that OEG yesterday was a buy. And in fact, look at this today. We had a little bit of after hours. It went up about 2%. So I think OEG, when we tracked it yesterday, it was a buy. Let's just quickly take a look at the volume. Okay, so it doesn't really have any volume, so there must have been some news that came out, which is why the stock is moving after hours. Yeah, so OAG actually is, I think it was a buy from yesterday. Of course, we'd have to look at it pre-market. And of course, we're going to be going pre-market once again tomorrow. So I'm going to be going live 30 minutes before pre-market so that we can take a look at what the market's looking like tomorrow, how it's behaving, and how much volume we're going to see, because the volume really dictates everything. Yeah, Irfan, you're so right. NNDM is an amazing stock, amazing company, amazing, it's in an amazing space. Every time I personally want to get into NNDM, I also just see that it just keeps going down. But I think that's just the market. I think just the volume is too low to move things up. So which means there's a lot of good long-term buying opportunity in the market right now. For a lot of long-term investors, this may be something really good to look at. Okay, let's look at Mogo. We did have quite a bit of a sell, which is why it actually went down, and then that must have triggered a buy order, so somebody jumped in, but then trended down beyond that. But look at that sell candle right at market open, and then we have another sell, it ended with 3 sell candles as well, and then we have quite a little bit of a gap that we have to cover for tomorrow. So Mogo is probably just I wouldn't get in it just yet. It doesn't seem like it has enough momentum to move it to $3 it's currently at. Is this an ETF? Is Mogo an ETF? Because if it's an ETF, maybe that may make a little more sense. If it's an ETF, then I would invest in ARKG. For anybody who's looking for a good ETF to invest in right now, that's like good value for money, in my opinion. Once again, I'm just a YouTuber. Do your own due diligence. But I think ARKG is a pretty good ETF that I personally will invest in very soon. In fact, probably sometime this week, maybe even tomorrow. It went down as low as $90, and now it's trailing at $95.84. So I do think that ARKG, if I was going to invest in an ETF, I would invest in ARKG, specifically in ARKG. Out of all the ARKs, I like ARKG the most, and I think it dropped quite a bit to where it's very attractive looking right now if you want to buy into ARKG. You want to look at the other ARKs? Let's take a look at the other ARKs as well. ARKF was what? The fintech? Yeah, I think ARKF is also trailing similar to ARKG. I just like the genomic space. I think the genomic space is going to trend, quite a bit. And you can see on the 16th, the ETF was at $63. So let's look at the other ARKs as well. ARKW. Let's take a look at that as well. That's at $164. Let's go a month ago. Feb 16 seems to be where the market did top out, $190. So you're getting a little bit of a discount with all the ARKs right now. The robotics ARK. Oh, look at that. You had not a little bit. In fact, that went crazy high and then we're back down. I wonder why. There probably is a catalyst with ARK autonomous. So we're going to take a look at that. See, it was probably a buy order that they had. Do you plan on getting back into open anytime soon? Yes, in fact, I have FOMO from selling open because as you all know, I'm a true believer, and I think open did fairly well. And in fact, if there's one stock that held out throughout all of this turbulence, it is in fact 5%. So it's held up pretty good. And I think I probably sold open at the bottom, so I should have held on to it for a little longer, but it's just that I needed trouble jumping into open. In fact, cash. So This is Ethereum. This is what I ended up doing with my cash. I picked up 5,000 at, let me tell you what the price that it filled at was here, 1479. So I spent a total of $5,012 at 1479. So probably a little higher than that, maybe 1485 with the fees and whatever. And my plan actually is to hold Ethereum for tonight. So I'm going to hold Ethereum all night, because I do believe that Ethereum has bottomed out at this price. And once Ethereum goes back up to $1,600, I do plan on exiting and putting all those funds back into Open Door. So this is my strategy. I'm going to take the money out of Ethereum and put it into Open Door. Of course, just the $5,000, not my initial equity. So right now it says my equity here is 22%. My return is 44%. I may actually just take my entire profits in Ethereum, which is 6,800, whatever it is, and move that into Open Door. So because I wanted to, like, you know, make the money work while I sleep, so my strategy is, I thought that Ethereum truly bottomed out at that price. Hopefully tomorrow when we wake up, we see Ethereum at a high, or at least at like $1,700. Well, not 17. I think 17 would be a stretch, especially with the volumes that we're seeing in the market. But if it goes up to $1,600, I will be selling Ethereum and moving into Open Door. And of course, I'm going to give you guys the alerts as I do that. I just added 1K to my portfolio. What do you recommend buying? I actually don't recommend buying anything right now. You know, we could have some more downturn to come, which is why I'm actually holding on to cash. You know, I had very little buying power when the downturn first came. I had to sell quite a little bit to get this cash, and I'm gonna hold on to it. And I think you know, I think there's gonna be some buying opportunity. I could be wrong, of course. I mean, the way the market's going, it's extremely unpredictable, but I am holding on to cash, and I'm gonna see how far that can get me. That's what I think. Clove, I'm in Clove. I believe in the company. I know there's a lot of problems. There's actually, in fact, not only is there a lot of problems, there's a lot of people that are platform and a really good idea. So I'm gonna hang on to Clove. Right here, you guys can see that I do have an option on Clove. So I'm in it. I have 5 options. That just shows you my level, you know, my level of confidence in the company. Because you can see my other options, I have 2, 2, 2, 2. So I'm confident in all of these, but Clove, I went in hard. I bought 5 options. So I'm confident something good's going to come out of them. We just need to wait. Sens, we went over Sens. I think Sens was in the buy when we went over it earlier today, but we can go over it once again. Let's take a look at Sens and see. We had opened it on the other platform, but we can open it here. You know, the RSI is in the middle, so it says it's neither overbought nor oversold. Pretty standard stuff. I'd like to see a little more volume in Sens before we jump into it. Okay, so this is my market buy. On January 20th, we bought Sens for $277, and on Feb 19th, we sold Sens for $4.90. So $4.90. So it is currently sitting at $3.35. If we do decide to ever jump back into it, we will be in about $1.50 cheaper than when we sold it. So that's a good sign for us. TDOC. Let's take a look at TDOC as well. How many of you guys were on the live earlier in the morning, the pre-market live? Because the pre-market live made some money moves, man. We, you know, there was some money to be made on the pre-market lives. Okay, I have heard of Teladoc. I have not invested in it. I can tell you that I've heard good things about the company. And the way they're disrupting the space, and it does look like we have a lot of buy volume towards the end of market close. I can also tell you that this stock is currently overbought, which means we need to let it cool down. We need to let this stock cool down. TDOC, whoever was asking about TDOC, we need to let it cool down for a minute because it is running hot right now. So we're going to cool down, which means there may be a little bit of a pullback. I don't know, maybe, just depends. Thoughts on APXT. Let's take a look at APXT as well. All right. Oh, Apex Technologies. I think we did talk about Apex Technologies, and if I'm not mistaken, they were on the gap. So I wish I could show you the RSI on this stock. The RSI is actually just below the MACDs. Hold on. If I close down the MACDs, maybe the RSI will pop up. Anyways, the stock is really good to buy. I think this was in the buy zone yesterday as well. So it was in the buy zone yesterday. It continues to be in the buy zone. I'm going to show you and let's see how far back actually I was holding on to this stock for. So Jumia, I bought at 49 shares. Hold on, let's go older so that I can show you guys exactly when I got in. So I got into Jumia at 42. I got into Jumia at 42 buy. It's a good thing I sold all these options. Continue to cost average my way, I guess, into Jumia, and we're gonna have to take a look at that. My Jumia, and it just kept down and down and down and down and just kept going down. So I actually had a stop loss that I removed on it because I don't mind taking the paper loss for now, and waiting for it to come up. I don't really have anywhere to put my money, so I'm okay holding on to stocks for a little bit. All right, guys. Well, it was great talking to you. It was great discussing all the stocks. Watch out for AMD, by the way. I just saw this really last thing, but if I were to invest in AMD, I would rather invest in Nvidia. I don't really think AMD is a good play right now. Anyways, so with that being said, I'm gonna go live tomorrow 30 minutes before market open, so stay tuned. We are going to be discussing the market and what it's looking like, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get better volume and the futures are in the green. So if we have a good day tomorrow, we're going to be making some money moves. I am going to be trading live, at least one trade, if I feel like the volume is good, and if I can make a quick couple $100 on the screen, I will be trading live on tomorrow's pre-market, well, market open, I guess. So look out for that, and I think I hope tomorrow is a better day and that we can trade and make some money, because we've been in the market, we've been out of the market for quite some time. I know some of the stocks have run up, but we've missed out on them, and I want to see if there's any opportunity